we're back. For everyone asking where the hell are the Road to the Million videos, well, behind me, we're back at Hustler and gonna play a more friendly game, 10, 20, 40 of the stakes. I think it's a 10K max, so I'll be in for that. And let's gamble. So, update on the Road to a Million. I haven't really reached the goal, and I haven't really been winning that much, but hopefully things change today and we run good. It feels so good to be playing cash games once again, and here at Hustler we're playing Max Payne Monday. We got a $10,000 buy-in, playing 10, 20, 40. Here we go. Right off the bat, Nick raises it up to $300, and I look down at Ace Queen offsuit on the button and decided to just make the call. Don't want to 3-bet just yet, kind of want to feel things out. Pretty rusty at this game, so I call, and the straddler calls as well. Off to a flop 3 ways, which comes 8, 3, 6 rainbow. Action checks to me in position with ace queen. Certainly have overcards to improve if I'm not already ahead. So I throw out $300. Straddler folds, but Nick comes along for a call. Turn comes a 6. Middle card is paired, and I think it's a pretty good card for me to just check this one back. And we see the river, which comes a king. Really wishing I had king queen instead of ace queen, but here we are with just ace high. Nick leads out for $900, and I just let my cards go. Don't think I can really hero call this spot, but hey, nice hand, well played, Nick. Moving along to the next hand, Nick raises once again under the gun to 300, and I pick up ace queen once again here, and I decided to 3-bet him this time. I passed on the 3-bet spot in the first hand, but here now, I guess a little bit more warmed up, I 3-bet to 1,000, and my opponent makes the call. Going to a flop of king, queen, 8. My opponent checks over to me here, and I think I should check back sometimes, and with ace queen, I'm gonna exercise that. I check this one back and see the turn 7 of clubs. Here, Nick leads out for $1,000, about a half pot sized bet. And of course, as played on the flop, maybe I can get him to bluff. Maybe my hand's just the best hand, and I'm going to make the call for 1,000, of course. And we're going to go to river, which is the 4 of diamonds. So flush draw completes, and my opponent fires out 4,000 now this time. I guess I just fold. I don't know. It feels bad, so I decided to fold rather quickly. And here we go. Nick wins back-to-back pots against my ace-queen. Playing pretty well against me, it seems like. And the following hand, I pick up pocket 10s in the hijack, getting involved. Under the gun raises to 300. I'm next to act. And I 3-bet to $1,000 here. Folds back around to the under the gun player, and I am going to be seeing a flop. Hopefully this time I see something good enough to win and continue on, but the flop comes ace queen 7. Come on, where was this flop when I had ace queen? Now it comes when I have 10s, and I'm just going to check this one back. Of course, I have nothing to do with this flop. Turn comes the 4 of clubs, and my opponent leads for 1,400, and that's my cue to get the hell out of here. Snap fold, and right off the bat, about literally like 30 minutes in, I'm down a cool $4,000, so that's really fun. And about an hour goes by, and I'm trying to rebuild from the previous few hands. I have pocket 10s once again from early position. Nate on my right raises to $200. I decided to 3-bet to 500. Pretty small raise, but didn't think my opponent had too much in his stack to play with, so wanted to keep things playable. My opponent makes the call for 500 total. We see a flop of king 3-3. And pretty easy decision when my opponent checks, I bet, and he snap folds. So at least I did not go through the whole stream without winning a single pot today. Another hour goes by, I look down at another premium. Ace, king of hearts from early position, raise it up to $400, and I get, well, lots of callers. Hijack, button, big blind, straddler, everyone calls. Does anyone else want to call who's watching this stream? Anyways, we're going to go 5 ways to a flop, and it's king 8-7. Here, I decided to be a little bit more trappy and check, considering we're playing against 4 other opponents, and action checks through. But when the turn comes the ace of diamonds, well, hey, this is as good of a turn card I can ask for. Top 2 pair, feeling like I have the nuts, so I fire out $1,000 into the middle, and only the big blind makes the call. So going to a turn, which is the 10 of hearts. It's overall pretty clean, I think. Obviously, lose to some straights now. That would be really unfortunate, but when my opponent checks one more time, I am trying to decide how much I want to bet and get called and hopefully get some value. And I decided on 5,000. Pretty big bet, pretty much an overbet, and my opponent quickly folds. So no more value here with top 2 pair, but at least I will take down the pot plus $2,000. Brings me very, very close to even now. Shortly after that hand, we have an early position player who limps in for $40. Hijack raises to 220. Cutoff makes the call, and I peel ace king of clubs in the big blind. Let's get active here. Another premium holding, but this time out of position and into a lot of action in front of me, to be honest. I decided to 3-bet to $1,200, and my opponents are not scared in this game. It's not called Max Payne Monday for no reason. The hijack calls, and so does the cutoff. So 3 ways the flop comes: 10, 3, 6 rainbow. Here I'm kind of in between a bet or a check here, and I just think that given the dynamics of the game and everyone's playing a little bit more crazy, I thought I could bet $900. Maybe ace king's ahead here some of the time when the hijack folds, but the cutoff just raises immediately to 2,400. I just snap, get out of here. In hindsight, maybe I should have thought about it a little bit more because Nick is just destroying me today. Nice raise here with his hand, and he owned me here. So not many interesting hands going on, but here comes a big one following this. I raise it up to $200 with 8-6 of diamonds. DQ makes the call in the cutoff, and so does DJ Washburn. So 3 ways, and before the flop comes, we see that an 8 is already exposed, which comes into quite a factor because I do have 8-6, but even more so when the flop is 9-8-6, 2 spades and a club. Oh my god, I have bottom 2 pair, very wet and connected board, and I decided to fire out $400. I think that this is just going to be a spot where I bet for value, but things go a little bit off the rails as DQ immediately raises it up, and it's not a small raise. This is the 2,200. Action folds to me, DQ covers me. I've got like 14,000 in my stack, and I just don't feel comfortable about what's happening here at all. I can't really find a hand that DQ wants to raise this large with for value that has a hand that's better than mine. I think he has a set. If he has the straight, those are the 2 things that beat me. Then why are you raising so much? We're pretty suspicious of this, so I'm putting him on like a draw, like a pretty good combo draw potentially, and well, my bottom 2 pairs pretty good. On top of the fact, like I said earlier, that there's an 8 exposed, so the only main hand that really beats me that I'm putting him on is 9-8, and that seems super unlikely when there's an 8 on the flop, I have an 8 in my hand, and another one has been exposed. So with all that said, I decided to go with my read, thinking my hand is good enough. Even though I'm feeling uncomfortable, I'm all in, and he snap calls. Oh god, the snap call for a $27,000 pot is certainly not what you want to see. And here we go, off to a run out where I don't improve. I show the 2 pair, and my opponent shows the 6-9. I forgot. It's Max Payne Monday, and DQ can play anything. I thought my opponent could have 8-9 or just a combo draw, and I never thought about the possibility of 6-9. Anyways, shout out to DQ, stacking me, probably winning the biggest pot of the night for sure, and it comes at my expense, sadly. So GG's to DQ, and a little bit of the opportunity cost comes with me knocking down your chips. Shortly after that hand, I'm trying to rebuild some way, somehow. There's an ungun player limps, another person limps. Hijack raises to $300. Cutoff makes the call for $300, and now onto me with ace king. Well, I've done this before, and I'm going to do it again. I 3-bet to $1,800, and surprisingly, I get DQ on my left to cold call this $1,800. And of course, as well, a plethora of calls as well. Hijack, cutoff, come along. We're suddenly playing a 4-way 3-bet pot, and I end up being max out of position. So when the flop comes 6-6-7, this is not a spot where I really want to bet with ace-king, I don't think. So I decided to check. DQ fires out $2,000, and quickly action folds to me. So I'm thinking, why not make the call? Because it's a pretty good price. I have ace high. Maybe I'm ahead of some draws. Who knows? So I make the call, and the turn comes a board pairing 7. Overall, not very good for me at all. So action's going to go check, check, luckily. So I get to see a free river card, which comes with the king of spades. Now, that's a pretty good spot for me to throw some money in the middle, but the issue is how much do I really want to bet? Do I think my opponent's going to have like pocket 9s, pocket 8s, or random draws that missed? I'm not really sure, but I definitely think that my hand is the best one here. I don't think my opponent's going to be checking back a full house at all, ever. So here we go. I decided to test out a small little teaser bet of $1,100, about 10% the size of the pot. If my opponent has nothing, maybe I could induce him to raise, and maybe he has like ace high, and I can get him to call with that as well. So For 1100, he ends up making the call with pocket tens, which definitely can't blame him for. Definitely feels like I could have gotten more money from him. But I get a decent rebate as I pick up an $8,500 pot. And at least I'm trending in somewhat the right direction, although I'm not obviously out of the hole yet. All right. Unfortunately, booking another L in the cash game street. It seems like every time I show up to play cash, I play bad or run bad, or I don't know. I gotta figure out a new strategy. But anyways, I bought in for 24,000 and I ended up losing 7,370. So progressing in the wrong direction of the challenge. Seems like I'm going to finish this road to $1 million in maybe like 2, 3, 11 years. So, you got a lot of content here at least. Thanks for watching, and on to the next video. Good luck, us.